This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC. On News Talk 95.3, 101.9 FM, and 1340 AM, your MNC Nation station.
I'm John Simney in the MNC News Center. Welcome to Friday. It's August the 16th, 2024. And the news getting started now with our top local stories on Michiana's Morning News. The very latest as the University of Notre Dame has suspended its men's swimming program after the law firm of Ropes and Gray completed a conduct review that concluded that, among other issues, some athletes engaged in gambling on college sports.
Pete Bavacqua says, in part, the review confirmed concerns about a deeply embedded team culture dismissive of the university's standards for student athletes, including our expectation that they treat one another with dignity and respect. The review also documented numerous violations of NCAA rules, banning gambling on intercollegiate swimming and other athletic competitions, despite clear and recurrent training. And with that, they've decided to suspend the men's swimming program for at least one academic year. You can read his full statement with this story at 953mnc.com. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Well, there is some good news to report as far as Notre Dame athletics goes. The Fighting Irish hockey team will take on Penn State at Wrigley Field in what's being called the Frozen Confines. The game is set for January 3rd. The trip to Wrigley is the fourth outdoor game appearance in the program for the modern era. General public tickets will go on sale at 10 o'clock Central Time on the morning of Friday, August 30th at Cubs.com/Big Ten Hockey. A boil water order is in effect for residents in Niles District 2. It's due to coliform bacteria detected in the city's water, and with that, you're advised to boil water for 5 minutes before consuming or cooking. You can also use bottled water as an alternative. Could take a few more days for the system to be flushed out completely. The city says they'll let residents know when everything is back to normal. New this morning on MNC, the Indiana State Police is leading an initiative to help resolve long-term missing persons cases.
They say investigative technology has advanced over the past several years, allowing them to use science to help resolve some of these cases for the involved families. They're asking families in Northeast Indiana that have a long-term missing person in their family to please contact them using a dedicated hotline. Family members are asked to leave their name, phone number, the name of your missing relative, and the city and county from which they were reported missing. A detective with the Cold Case Investigative Squad will then reach out. Initially, state police are starting with Northeast Indiana, but will soon expand this initiative to other parts of the state. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
2 people were found dead inside a car in Michigan City. The discovery made around 5:30 yesterday morning in the 2300 block of Normandy Drive. According to investigators, a 35-year-old man and a 22-year-old woman suffered apparent gunshot wounds. So far, no word on the official cause and manner of their deaths. So far, no word about any arrests. And the Great Cardboard Boat Race is set for this afternoon at LaSalle Bristol Pond. More than 70 teams are taking part. It's all to help raise money for Crossroads United Way. Zach Miller from our sister station, Froggy 102.7, is taking part.
The party starts at like 11 a.m., so there's going to be food trucks, beer trucks, beverages, all kinds of fun stuff like that. It is a legitimate party over at LaSalle Bristol on County Road 17. And what's super cool is that there's going to be 72 different boats in probably like 8 or 9 heats that go and race around the pond.
And probably a lot of people who are wet by the end of it. The race starts at 3 o'clock. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita has dropped a lawsuit against IU Health, which claimed that it violated patient privacy laws.
You know, one of our office's main duties is to protect patient privacy, because when it's not protected, the foundation of trust between a doctor and patient is destroyed, and healthcare as a result suffers.
The lawsuit arose after a doctor told a newspaper that a 10-year-old girl from Ohio came to Indiana for an abortion, a topic, of course, becoming controversial after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Turning to Michiana's election headquarters, she says her plan is the best plan. We're talking about the Democratic candidate for Indiana governor.
The McCormick-Gooden property tax plan is almost a greatest hits of tax relief ideas from Indiana politicians on both sides of the aisle.
Day one, it is ready. They could call General Assembly into session and boom, pass it, and then then relief for Hoosiers.
In a Thursday press conference, Democratic candidate for governor Jennifer McCormick says the plan calls for a 10% cap on property tax bills. There's also several reductions and exemptions in different tax areas, taxes, and she says it will not affect your local government bodies like the Braun plan. Donnie Burgess, Network Indiana.
Well, Republican Mike Braun and his Lieutenant Governor running mate Micah Beckwith jabbed at the Democratic ticket for not releasing the tax plan earlier. Libertarian Donald Rainwater was the first on the scene with his 7% cap tax plan. The state's top educators have scrapped their original plan for a new high school diploma.
After the proposed GPS diploma got a lot of backlash, State Education Secretary Katie Jenner says those are gone now, but she says their intent needs to remain.
Having every student take all the same things is not working for every student. Find a way to keep flexibility.
She says they're going back to a singular diploma model with core math and science courses remaining intact, but students will have the option to earn honors seals to allow for that flexibility. Some may even equate to earning an associate's degree while still in high school. Kirk Darling, Network Indiana.
Speaking of education, third graders in Indiana are on a third-year streak of increased iRead test scores. The latest assessment just out this week shows the largest single increase since the year 2013. The Wawasee gymnastics team's future is uncertain after the school board decided to delay its controversial cancellation. Many people showed up to support the gymnastics team after the coach learned about the cut 3 weeks ago. A public outcry has led to a school board vote and a petition on change.org, which has now collected 2,200 signatures. The issue may be taken up at the next school board meeting on September 10th. A Michigan mother is outraged at a Detroit judge who ordered her 15-year-old daughter handcuffed, put in jail clothes, and threatened with juvenile detention, all for falling asleep in his courtroom.
The teen was visiting the court on a field trip this week. Judge Kenneth King says he felt compelled to teach the girl a lesson, calling it his own version of scared straight. Here's the girl's mother, LaToria Hill.
The fact that he was talking about you go home and get in your bed. How do you know my baby got a home? How do you know my baby got a bed, her own bed that she can sleep in? She don't have that right now. So she was tired.
She says her daughter hasn't been able to sleep well because they don't have a permanent home at the moment, and that the judge shouldn't be too quick to judge. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Well, the judge says it wasn't the fact that she fell asleep, it was her overall attitude in the courtroom that he didn't like. And by the way, he's now been temporarily removed from the bench. Niles residents will vote in November on a proposal to fund park and rec improvements. The city council's approved $1.5 million tax measure expected to raise over $406,000 annually. The funds will go toward upgrading park shelters, play structures, trails, possibly adding a spray pad at Riverfront Park. Property owners will pay about $150 annually for every $100,000 in taxable value. You're invited to ride the Greenway Bicycle Trail along the Elkhart River. The ride is set for 5:30 this evening and will begin at the Oxbow House Shelter at Oxbow County Park and ride the Maple Heart Trail to meet up with the Riverway Greenway. The ride ends at Studebaker Park, where the group will then turn around and head back. It's free to take part. No registration is needed. The Indiana Fever have not played a regular season game in almost a month because of the Olympic break. Fever guard Caitlin Clark says she's ready to get back at it.
I think this prep has been really good, but eventually you get to the point where it's just like, all right, let's go now. Like, let's get these last 14 games going. So I think that's kind of the point we're at.
The Fever face the Phoenix Mercury tonight and then battle Seattle Storm on Sunday. Both games are at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indy.
Showers and thunderstorms this morning. Then we'll see the skies clear out. Some sunshine, very muggy and warm as we head into the afternoon with a high of 82. Just an isolated shower then. As we head into this evening, another area of showers and thunderstorms will be possible. Then overnight, partly cloudy will drop down to 65. And then for Saturday, off and on rain showers, high of 77. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
You can get the top local news delivered to your email twice each day. To get signed up, go to 953mnc.com and click where it says on demand.
Podcasts by Federated Media.